The episode opens with Masha diving deeper into her controversial healing methods. She now uses a psychedelic device that allows guests to relive and confront their most painful memories. Peter, still burdened by years of emotional baggage and his complicated relationship with his wealthy father, David, is pulled into a vivid memory of his parents' divorce. But when Masha unexpectedly appears in his hallucination, he begins to suspect she's been part of his life far longer than she should have. Spiraling, Peter storms around Zauberwald in a bathrobe, shouting wild accusations, only to dramatically encounter his father, lounging like a god in a mud bath. The reunion is absurd, but powerful, with Peter breaking down and David slyly suggesting they take over Masha's retreat, turning the emotional into a moment of corporate scheming. Meanwhile, Mateo's inner wounds are revealed. Through an emotional flashback, we learn that he lost both his parents in a drone strike while they were working as teachers in a war zone. When planes fly overhead at the retreat, his trauma resurfaces and panic sets in. But what begins as a breakdown transforms into one of the episode's most powerful scenes, as Mateo calmly expresses his choice to live with pain instead of being defined by it. His quiet strength moves even Masha, who, for once, stops the treatment early. It's a rare gesture of humility from her, hinting at a deeper awareness beneath her guru persona. Imogen's arc takes a sharp turn when she wakes up next to Tina and discovers her mother Victoria has collapsed after taking the wrong dose of her medication. The real shock comes when she finds out Mateo isn't just Victoria's boyfriend, he's been secretly acting as her caregiver. The revelation shakes the family dynamic to its core. Christine Baranski, even in brief moments, makes Victoria feel fierce and fragile, and her refusal to take more psychedelics, because of a hidden illness, raises troubling questions about her earlier trip. It's a small inconsistency that slightly muddles her storyline, but it doesn't break the emotional flow. Elsewhere in the retreat, Brian and Agnes provide comic relief. Brian's goofy puppet act, complete with angel and devil hand puppets, tries to corrupt Agnes, and their wine-fueled bonding session with Tina and Wolfie turns into a game of fuck, marry, kill. It's ridiculous in the best way, and the chemistry among the group adds warmth. But beneath Agnes's laughter, a growing spiritual doubt brews, hinting that her internal struggle is far from over. The biggest revelation hits like a cold slap. Helena, Zauberwald's supposed owner and Masha's key adversary, is actually dead, and has been since 2022. All of Masha's confrontations with her were nothing more than hallucinations. The twist is unsettling, especially when we see Helena's untouched office and a memorial portrait. Nicole Kidman plays Masha's slow realization with chilling precision as her sense of control begins to fracture. What seemed like a power battle was actually a descent into her own mind. Review. Episode 6, The Other Side, is 9 perfect strangers at its boldest, blending surreal therapy sessions, emotional breakthroughs, and offbeat humor with surprising ease. Unlike earlier episodes that sometimes got stuck in exposition, this one drives forward with urgency, using character actions to push the plot. The mix of bizarre and heartfelt moments works well, echoing the chaotic nature of healing. Director Jonathan Levine leans into the madness with fast, disorienting visuals that mirror the characters' unraveling minds. The Bavarian setting remains a quiet force in the background, cold, mysterious, and strangely fitting for this emotional roller coaster. The cast rises to the occasion. Henry Golding gives Peter both manic energy and raw vulnerability, especially during his breakdown in the bathrobe. Aris Aiden delivers the episode's emotional peak with Mateo's speech, showing that healing is less about forgetting and more about acceptance. Carla de Leon's subtle performance as Agnes continues to be one of the season's strongest. And Nicole Kidman, as Masha, shines when her mask starts to slip, exposing the human beneath the self-made mystic. There are still a few weak spots. Some storylines, like Tina and Wolfie's, are charming but underdeveloped. Victoria's drug arc has minor inconsistencies, and the Helena twist, while powerful, edges toward over the top. But overall, These are small distractions in an otherwise gripping hour. With its emotional highs, psychedelic weirdness, and sharp character turns, Episode 6 revitalizes the series. It manages to be absurd and sincere all at once. A reminder that Nine Perfect Strangers is most compelling when it fully embraces its strange, messy soul. As the season heads into its final stretch, the questions are bigger than ever. Can Masha hold it together? Will the Sharps hijack her vision? And what truths still hide in the retreat's shadow? One thing's clear: this was the standout episode of the season.